and it is my great honour to be reading this roll of honour here today. Little did I think many years ago as a child that marvelled at the events that unfolded here in Solohead Big, that I would have the honour on the 100th anniversary in the company of our party president, Mary Luke MacDonald, and all the simple guests to read this roll of honour. So without further ado, list of officers and men who gave their lives for the fight for Irish freedom from Tipperary, North Brigade. Thomas MacDonagh, Cloughjordan. Volunteer James McCarthy, Thurles. Lieutenant Thomas O'Dwyer, Durag. Volunteer Thomas Brett, Moyalef, Drumman. Captain Michael Small, Gurtnacrana, Borrisalee. Lieutenant Michael Ryan, Corraduff, Upperchurch. Volunteer William Gleeson, Moher, Upperchurch. Volunteer Thomas O'Loughlin, Killynan, Thurles. Volunteer Michael Kennedy, Emmett Street, Nina. Volunteer John O'Brien, Pierce Street, Nina. Volunteer Michael Walton, Rossagile, Newport. Volunteer Patrick O'Connor, Fidane, Newport. Volunteer Richard Lumley, Rare Cross. Lieutenant Sean O'Leary, Nina. Commandant Sean Bergen, Connolly Street, Nina. Volunteer Patrick Starr, Connolly Street, Nina. Volunteer Patrick Ryan, Knockfewn, Newport. Volunteer Michael Kennedy, Donegal. Volunteer Martin Barry, Newtown, Nina. Volunteer Michael Kelly, Mitchell Street, Thurles. Volunteer Lawrence Hickey, Thurles. Volunteer William Lucknan, Thurles. Lieutenant James McLaughlin, Kilcommon. Volunteer Cornelius Gleeson, Moher, Upperchurch. Volunteer Declan Horton, Ardmore. Captain Thomas Devaney, Palace, Tobyvara. Lieutenant Joseph McDonough, TD, Cloughjordan. Volunteer Thomas Stapleton, Finnehy, Upperchurch. Volunteer Michael Hickey, Nina. Volunteer James Nolan, Pierce Street, Nina. Volunteer Thomas Hayes, Mitchell Street, Nina. Volunteer Michael Maher, Glenmore, Tipplederry. Volunteer John Baggett, Mungret Street, Limerick. Volunteer Francis Power, Hogan's Pass, Nina. Volunteer Frederick Burke, Lee, Borrisalee. Volunteer Patrick Russell, Summerhill, Borrisalee. Lieutenant Martin O'Shea, Greg Negrina, Borrisalee. Volunteer Michael Gleeson, Moher, Upperchurch. Commandant Joseph Mangan, Lawtown, Donegal. Volunteer John Sheedy, Killahan, Balnahinch, Nina. Volunteer Martin Hogan, Drumineer, Nina. Commandant Matt Ryan, Boher, Ballina. Volunteer Robert Bonfield, Yohalara, Nina. Volunteer James Taylor, McDonough Street, Nina. Volunteer Dennis Quinlan. Volunteer Thomas O'Brien, Nina. Volunteer Dennis Carey, Nina. And Volunteer James Devaney, Palace, Tobyvara. Rest in peace.